A broken data pipeline means a stale machine learning model, a blind executive dashboard, or a compliance violation. The downstream effects of a single failure are immediate and expensive. When you run a few nightly extraction scripts, a simple cron job works fine. But when thousands of dependent tasks must execute in a specific order, retry on failure, and trigger alerts on timeouts, simple scripts become a liability. You need a dedicated orchestrator. For years, Apache Airflow was the default answer. Today, in 2026, the market has fractured into a three-way standoff: Airflow, Prefect, and Dagster. This diagram illustrates the core engineering trade-off every team faces. You have to balance developer velocity, how fast you can write and test code, infrastructure scale, how well the system handles thousands of concurrent jobs, and data trust, how easily you can verify lineage and quality. The reality is that a platform capable of perfectly optimizing all three of these priorities at the exact same time does not exist. Because the perfect tool is a myth, choosing an orchestrator is actually about identifying which specific engineering compromises your team can afford to accept. We will start with Apache Airflow. If you have a massive, sprawling tech stack, Airflow is the mature standard built specifically to handle that complexity. Its primary advantage is an ecosystem of over 1,600 provider connectors. Whether you need to push data to Snowflake, pull from Databricks, or query an ancient on-premise database, Airflow integrates out of the box. This flowchart shows Airflow's core mechanism, the directed acyclic graph. You link isolated tasks with strict directional arrows to force sequential execution. The flaw is these DAGs require custom operators, making them notoriously difficult to mock and test locally on a laptop. Running those DAGs reliably also demands heavy infrastructure. Managing the web server, scheduler, and metadata database for thousands of daily batch jobs usually requires a dedicated DevOps team. Adopting Airflow means you are trading fast developer iteration for ultimate stability and hiring familiarity. If your lean team needs to deploy code quickly without wrestling a heavy infrastructure burden, Prefect is the agile alternative. Look at this code comparison. Instead of forcing developers to write in a rigid framework syntax like the script on the left, Prefect relies on pure Python decorators. You just add @flow and @task to the Python scripts you already have. This Python native approach means developers can test pipelines exactly like normal Python functions. You bypass the heavy local setup and iterate rapidly. Prefect uses a hybrid execution deployment model. A hosted cloud control plane handles the scheduling, while execution agents run safely inside your virtual private cloud. The control plane tells agents when to work, but your proprietary data never leaves your secure environment. The trade-off for this agility is visibility. Prefect tracks whether a task succeeded or failed, but it lacks strict built-in tracking for the actual data assets produced by those tasks. Prefect is the right choice for teams willing to sacrifice strict data governance to achieve maximum developer velocity and dynamic, event-driven flexibility. For data architects who treat data quality as the final product, Dagster is the optimizer's choice. It achieves this precision through software-defined assets. Watch this structural shift. Software-defined assets force you to stop tracking tasks running and start tracking the actual tables and ML models those tasks produce. This allows pipelines to naturally document themselves, giving you complete observability over where data originates and transforms. The massive upfront cost here is friction. Adopting this model requires a steep learning curve and the complete restructuring of your existing codebases to fit the asset paradigm. There is also a financial trade-off. Dagster Cloud relies on compute-based pricing, which scales up rapidly as you produce and track more individual data assets. You adopt Dagster when you are willing to accept high refactoring costs in exchange for a pristine, deeply observable data architecture. We have mapped the engineering constraints. Now let's run your team through a final, practical decision framework. First question, what is your bottleneck? If you're the enterprise standardizer, connecting legacy code with a DevOps team and static schedules, stick with Apache Airflow. If you're the agile Python developer, needing dynamic triggers and fast deployments, choose Prefect. For strict data quality, build on Dagster. Stop searching for an objectively perfect orchestrator. Look closely at your team, figure out which constraints you can live with, and choose the tool whose compromises match your operational reality.